Hi everyone, my name is Ruby Thomas. I am the niece of Dorothy Carroll and Anthony Carroll, who lived in this farmhouse. They were the last residents to live here at 8765 Special Place, Nanjemoy, Maryland. This house was an original one-story structure. Who lived in this house was a slave, and her name was Lydia Diggs. But we see that she also went by her nickname Lottie Diggs as well. Well, Lottie Diggs probably lived in the one-room structure of this house, and then later on this house became a two-story structure. Earlier this year, we applied for a grant for the preservation and the restoration of this farmhouse. And we applied through the Maryland Commission of the African American History and Culture. And we were able to receive funds for the beginning of the restoration of this project. That application required us to talk about the significance of it, to talk about the importance of it, and what were our plans as far as using the money in a way in which it would improve the knowledge and understanding of African American history and culture. We have a huge vision, a mission that we want to accomplish. We want this farmhouse to be restored, but we want that whole agricultural environment to take place. We want school kids to come here. We want the barn set up again. We want the smokehouse. We want the corn house. We want the outhouse. We wanted it as a place where people today have no idea about farm life. We want some meat hanging up in the smokehouse. We want a children's garden out there so kids can come from Nanjemoy, Mount Hope Elementary School and plant their own gardens out here. Also inside, we want to take all the footage and all the interviews that we've collected and pictures. We want to set up sort of as a little mini museum. So as people walk in, we would have monitors set up and they can press the button and say, oh, there is Morris Carroll, the oldest living descendant. Let's see what he has to say about growing up on this farmhouse. So we want it as a teaching tool, an educational tool for anybody that comes here. The story would be told, and they will leave with more knowledge and understanding of the influence of African American culture and heritage in Charles County. So we hope beginning of 2022 to start restoration and preservation of this home and to open it to the public, to the world, to anybody who wants to come and to hear this incredible story about how people lived before the Civil War, how people lived after the Civil War, how people who were a part of an interracial relationship, what did they do? What was the farming like, and how did they survive during that time? Because there weren't any jobs, you know, they lived off the land. So there's so much of an incredible story that is woven right here in Nanjemoy about the survival and the fortitude and the strength of the African American community. And a lot of it is just rooted right here in this house.
To learn more of the history of the Carroll Family Farm, check out our series, Deep Roots and Many Branches, African American History in Charles County.
For your present and our future, don't litter. Do your part and keep Charles County beautiful.
Applying for jobs with Charles County government is now easier and more efficient. Visit www.charlescountymd.gov for more information.
We are at the African American Heritage Society of Charles County Incorporated Heritage House, which is located at 7485 Crane Highway, La Plata, Maryland. Heritage House is a fulfillment of a dream. It's a fulfillment of a dream that William A. Diggs and Louise Webb had as they traveled from place to place with their traveling exhibition and demonstrations, trying to illustrate the African American experience in our region, in the Southern Maryland region and beyond. The Heritage House tells the story of the African American experience. And not only does it tell the story of the African American experience, but also those entities that helped to make the African American way of life a little easier. Heritage House contains collection of artifacts, memorabilia. It is also a place where one can gather and meet. And really, Heritage House is the only place in Charles County that tells the African American story. When you take a tour of Heritage House, we have exhibit on the Tuskegee Airmen. We have a display on bands in Southern Maryland. We have irons, you know, how the folks use irons in the days, and the kids will love it because when they come, I said, see, we didn't need fitness. We didn't need Gold's Gym or anything. I said, these irons, I said, you lift these things up and they'll give you exercise. We have a room dedicated to Mr. William A. Diggs. And it shows you his dashiki and how he would talk to people about the African American experience, and especially when he went up to the Smithsonian, the Folk Life Festival. So we have that in there. We have books. Yeah, we have many books on African American history. We even have the pictures. I'm sitting here now of the African American personalities that were given to Mr. Diggs, and now we have them. Yeah, we do have the ball and chain that was attached to Mr. Diggs' great-grandfather's leg for 20 years. And a lot of pictures and artifacts dealing with how people did things in olden times and whatnot. So those are some of the things we have. Well, it's important because you've got to know your past before you can go to present or your future. And the past can be known here through the eyes of children and adults, and not only African Americans, but people of other race too. Because we're always drilling in about our own people, and that is true, African Americans, but you've got to let everybody else know it also, because we don't live in this world by ourselves. We live it together. So it's here for the children and their parents and anyone else to instill in them what a great race of people we are, and don't forget it.
To listen to our companion podcast on the African American Heritage House, visit podcast.charlescountymd.gov.